Ashleigh is a 22-year-old female and is a novice performer with limited kicking skills, however has extensive knowledge of the AFL. She suffers from ongoing lower back pain and posture issues and wishes to improve her posture issues as well as learning how to kick a football throughout this training program. Classification: kicking can be seen as a gross motor skill using large movements and involving multiple muscle groups throughout the movement. It can be seen as a discrete skill as it has a clear beginning and end to the movement, and it can be seen as an open or closed skill depending on the context of the movement. If it was in a game scenario, it would be more of an open skill. However, in this scenario with training, it is more of a closed skill. Looking at measures of performance, we use qualitative and quantitative data throughout our training program. Through the use of a simple pre-test, the coach was able to understand and assess where Ashleigh was at in regards to the stages of learning. Using quantitative data combined with observation, the coach, Tayla, was able to understand and assess where Ashleigh was at and alter the training program to suit Ashleigh's needs. Ashleigh was given no instructions at all, just told to kick the football. As you can see, Ashleigh got 0 out of 10 for her performance as there was no accuracy to the kick and she barely made contact with the ball. Ashleigh's lack of exposure to the skill, it was decided that the bottoms-up approach to learning was best suited to her needs. With an increase in complexity of the skill when the participant is proficient in an area, this approach allows Ashleigh to master every skill in every aspect. As a novice performer, Ashleigh can benefit from this approach as she can build upon the skill without having to divide her attention between the skill and external factors. If this does not occur, Ashleigh can suffer from attention overload and regress in her progress. In a 4-week training program, it needed to be taken into account that Ashleigh is a novice performer. Each week has been broken down into basic skills, piecing together each component of an AFL kick and progressing as she masters each component. Week 1, we start off with the basics of the skill, making sure that she knows how to drop the ball, the leg position as to which she is to kick the ball, and the hand placement on the ball. By breaking down the movement, Ashleigh can understand and master each component before putting them all together and moving on to the next week. Week 2 looks at target practice, and by piecing together the basic skills learnt and practiced in the initial training session, Ashleigh can focus on the fluid movement and aiming for a target. Week 3 looks at adding in a step to the movement, so it becomes more like a game-like scenario as she'd be aiming for goal at this point of the game. Week 4 then looks at adding a run-up, again making it more like a game-like scenario so she can understand how environmental factors can influence her kick. How people learn, we broke it down into Fitz and Posner's stages of learning. So in week 1, we expect that Ashleigh will be in the cognitive stage, meaning that she knows very little about the skill and we needed to break the skill down into the simplest form. She needs to be encouraged to ask questions as it's a key component of this cognitive stage of learning. The following weeks looks at piecing together the steps and hopes that Ashleigh will move into the associative stage. It is not expected that Ashleigh will make the autonomous stage as it can take countless hours of practice to reach this stage of learning. We hope that by following this and piecing together each step each week, Ashleigh will move through the associative stage and hopefully with a lot of practice will eventually move into the autonomous stage. She needs to ensure that she understands that there will be environmental factors affecting the way that she kicks the ball and needs to take them into account before she moves on to the autonomous stage. Another factor that we're looking for is the fact that Ashleigh will be able to look at her errors and be able to fix them herself with little to no instructions from the coach by the end of the 4th week. Stages of learning, the cognitive stage is where a basic movement pattern begins. Errors and inconsistencies in the movement should happen in this stage, however, need to be rectified before moving on to the associative stage. For Ashleigh to move through these learning stages, it's extremely important that the errors are rectified and the skill is refined. Verbal feedback from the coach is a good idea. However, Ashleigh needs to learn to detect her own errors and correct them without being prompted. For a participant to move through to the autonomous stage, there needs to be little to no errors, and unfortunately, in the short amount of time, a novice performer such as Ashleigh may not move through to that stage. Creating a training program and implementing it, it's really important for a coach to understand where the participant has come from and what they actually know about the skill. For Ashleigh, her prior knowledge of AFL can help her create an understanding of the way that the ball is meant to be kicked and can use visualization when she's practicing. She can also understand the terminology that's being used, and that can be a real positive in regards to her learning the skill. Her prior knowledge can also be used as a negative, as it can interfere when the basic skill is being practiced. As you can see in an AFL game, the complexity of the kicks being performed by the AFL players may not translate so well in the way that she is kicking the ball, and can actually skew her perception of the way that she is meant to move. Ashley needs to make sure she's bending her leg a little bit more and that she's not leaning too far back. That could cause her to fall over when she actually goes to kick the football. Along the way, we met a little friend. We don't know the name of the dog, however, he did come and distract us for quite a long time. Performers such as Ashleigh have attention limitations. It's important to stabilise the environment in which we are practicing in. While instructing Ashleigh, a short, simple terminology was used to ensure that she understood the task. Although Ashleigh has extensive knowledge of the AFL, negative transfer can occur and create some misunderstanding when learning each component of the skill. Therefore, simplicity is key. Although in this case, physical manipulation was not needed, in some cases this can be used to assist beginners, however, shouldn't be relied on and should be removed as soon as possible. We also made sure that we gave Ashleigh feedback in a feedback sandwich. So we gave her a positive, then a negative, then another positive to make sure that she stayed motivated throughout this process. We made sure that we set goals for Ashleigh and made sure that we're giving her feedback along the way so that she stayed motivated and continued to train throughout the week. She needs to make sure she's bending that back leg and maintaining good posture, as this will help her with the kicking motion. She also needs to make sure that the ball is coming off her foot, not her leg, and making sure that she isn't throwing the ball up when releasing it.